Well, I think I'll start with stablecoins, which is there is not yet a federal law that defines dollar stablecoins as legal electronic money in the U.S. financial system. Once we have that, then every company in the world, every public corporation, every financial institution all around the world will be able to treat this as digital cash, use it as collateral, use it to settle transactions. Its ability to be used on a mass scale in society grows dramatically. So that's a huge one, obviously. And then in crypto markets, there's sort of who looks over exchanges. That's sort of one thing. But the big thing is we need statutes that define what these different types of digital assets are.
Right.
And so digital tokens are a huge innovation, and they're an innovation in economic incentives and others. And so we need laws that say, here's what a digital token is. Here's how you offer one. Here's how you distribute it. Here's how end users can use it, whether it's a game or whatever it is. So that's really the key that I think.
We want a cashless society. It costs us $5 billion for checks and cash to move around our company.
You want a cashless society.
We are driving towards a faster, but we have more to gain than anybody in a sense from a pure operating.
In the very, very long term, could Bitcoin be a non-fiat currency? Yes. I mean, I actually think the technology works. You could create a new kind of currency that's backed by math and by cryptography as opposed to fiat government, but that could take a really long time. I mean, that could be decades in the future.
You haven't been shy about what you're building. You're building the next Microsoft?
Well, we want to build something at that scale, the scale of Microsoft and Google. And why is that? Because while a lot of people are doing great in language models, you mentioned OpenAI and Anthropic, great companies and a lot of applications with language, the bigger market, the bigger B2B market is in quantitative AI, AI that drives new drug development, new materials for cars and space and planes. These are the bigger areas of the economy. And I think 2025 will have more news from ourselves and many others on B2B AI versus just consumer AI. And Sandbox AQ, what's the AQ? A is for AI, Q for quantum. These are the two twin engines that are going to drive our economy forward. AI, of course, because you can look at lots of data and build patterns. But in the area of B2B AI, it's not so much that we use the internet as our training set. That's the language, folks. Here, we actually generate new data based on the core equations, the equations of new drugs, new medicine for Alzheimer's, for Parkinson's, for cancer, new materials that we need for batteries. We're going to see a lot happening in AI and energy in 2025. The build out of data centers, that means more battery storage. What are those batteries made of? We need AI that knows chemistry, not just cat pictures and Reddit. And so this is going to be a very, very different kind of AI that you see emerging in 25, 26 versus what we saw in 24. Yeah. So I think that people ask us a lot, Frank, how do we play the AI play? How do we invest in AI? And certainly you can invest in particular companies. I think the bigger play, 25, 26, is for public investors to look at the public companies in every major sector. So be it pharma, be it automotive, be it energy, there's going to be winners and losers. Companies like Sanofi that are using AI and drug companies that are not really taking advantage of AI.
But they've signed with Sandbox AQ. You should buy their stock.
Well, that's right. Of course, if they sign with us, there's no problem at all. But really taking hold of this for product development. We see large language models as a way to cut costs. That's an awesome thing. Every company should be using large language models, for example, to cut their customer service costs, right? And use language models for that. But that doesn't really help in the multi-billion-dollar product development, value creation. That's what LQMs are about, large quantitative models. They're about creating huge amount of value in your new products. That's what LLMs are.
Has had a tremendous year, broke through 100,000. All these stocks are going up. MicroStrategy's out there buying Bitcoin. Great, and you're not wrong. Yes, Bitcoin has had a great year, as you can see on this chart. Of course, you also see that it really has spiked after that election of President Trump. But cocoa prices, what is driving this, notably, really since the early October here, is some of the biggest deficits in cocoa in 60 years.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Circle's Jeremy O'Leary on stablecoin regulation. And once the United States gets stablecoin regulation, not only is it going to change the financial markets forever, but it's also going to be the gateway to money never being real again. Only thing they're doing is taking the current system and putting stable coins on top of it. And eventually you'll never see fiat again. And we're definitely going to see fewer fiat currencies once we get this collapse. We'll have a lot more stable coins, but those stable coins will be attached to those CBDCs. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Sandbox AQ. And with all this AI talk, they're just showing us the first phase. We know they have AI 2000 in the back. Remember, this is a plan that moves in phases. But the next step is to allow these businesses to start using this technology. And of course, we'll never know that we're using it. And the big banks and big corporations have been using AI. Now, if you have the NWO book or you've been with me from the beginning, I used to go over IBM Watson a lot. So just imagine IBM Watson with quantum computing, and then you plug in these robots, algorithms, and drones. You give these robots these synthetic brains. So that means they'll be smarter than you, and they'll be able to do anything that you can do. I know a lot of people say, hey, they can't do this, they can't do that. That means you're not understanding the technology. They're going to have brains just like you, but they're going to be pulling from data 1,000 times faster. Probably you would have to go to school for 30 years. But it will be nothing that these machines won't be able to do. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have cocoa prices for the year has been moving along right with Bitcoin. And the reason they say supply chain, climate change, but we know both of them are man-made. And we have a lot more supply chain issues that are going to happen in 2025 and 2026. And remember, the crypto teacher tells you. And we have Trump on the Panama Canal. And we know China has definitely been taking advantage, and Trump says he wants it back due to these high fees. And we know that's nothing but the Hegelian dialectic. China versus U.S. is going to eventually collide. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, in 2025, we're going to start seeing yield rates rise even further. We know that's not good for stocks or cryptos. And we also going to start seeing all this liquidity start to shrink up. But remember, guys, it's a plan that moves in phases. Not something that's going to happen overnight, but it's definitely going to start shrinking. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And the movies begin. We have Mangione on the Money Channel. And if they keep giving us updates, they're doing it for a reason. Only thing you have to do is get your popcorn, sit back, and let it play out. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows, when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
The fees being charged by Panama are ridiculous, highly unfair, especially knowing the extraordinary generosity that has been bestowed to Panama, I say very foolishly, by the United States. This complete ripoff of our country will immediately stop. It's going to stop.
There's no question as yields go higher, that does pressure things. But, the 10-year TIPS bond, we look at that as one of the key valuation judges for stocks. That's 2.25%. It still takes you 32 years to double your purchasing power with the 2.25 10-year TIPS.
We continue to stay on top of developments surrounding Luigi Mangione, the suspect in the shooting death of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He has pled not guilty to state murder and other charges this morning. Here's what Mangione's attorney had to say just moments ago.
He's a young man, and he is being treated like a human ping pong ball between two warring jurisdictions here. These federal and state prosecutors, they have conflicting theories in their indictments, and they are literally treating him like he is like some sort of political fodder, like some sort of spectacle.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.